Assalamu alaikum everyone. Lots of people ask me how and why I reverted to Islam. Growing up, I was brought up in an atheist family. I did go to church. I live in a Christian country. So it was quite normal for the family sometimes to go to church on Easter, etc. But I never felt particularly close to any faith when I was young, and I felt like the town I grew up in was not very interested in teaching other people about the beliefs. Like, we never learned about Judaism, Hindu, Buddhism, and obviously Islam. And because of that, I just didn't really have a belief system. I feel I genuinely struggled when I started university. I moved out of my family home and I really felt that lack of support, and I felt genuinely very alone. I started feeling very depressed. I was going to therapy, nothing was working, and I quickly went downhill. And I just felt like there was no purpose for me in this world and started having these really intrusive thoughts. COVID definitely didn't help though. I decided, you know what, I'm going to move from Brighton to London on my own. And it was a really scary move, but I did it. And when I went to London, that was when I started looking into Islam. Stay tuned for part 2. This is part 2 of how and why I reverted to Islam. So essentially, I had just moved to London alone, and going from an extremely small town to a huge city was very isolating. Anyways, I decided, you know what, after it, like, kind of the isolation period had left, I decided, you know, I'm going to travel more. And I traveled to a lot of Muslim countries. I saw, like, the beliefs and the values that these people had, and I felt like that was lacking in myself. It was very, very eye-opening, and felt like it really opened my heart to different religions and different cultures. When I came home to London, I met a brother on the street who was handing out Qur'ans. And I was like, you know what? I've tried everything. I've tried therapy. I've tried, you know, emotional and also tablets, like everything I've tried. But I never really developed a spiritual belief, a religion, you know? But I had a whole long conversation with this brother, alhamdulillah. He listened very carefully. I cried. It was a lot. But he said to me this: physical people can help physical things. For example, if you hurt your arm, somebody can help you with your arm that's broken. But if you're experiencing something metaphysical, and I mean like something like a mental illness, a mental struggle, which I was dealing with, only something metaphysical can really have an effect, which was why these therapists were not working. And so after that day, I started to read the Quran. I started to attend events in the mosques for people who were interested in reverting. And the more and more I, you know, pushed myself closer to God, the more I felt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was bringing Islam to me. Through the people that I was meeting were, like, you know, making me closer to my deen. And the more I was praying, the more suddenly I literally felt this depression melt away from me. So when people ask me like how I reversed to Islam, it wasn't one specific moment. It was a long journey. A journey that felt like I had reached like inner peace. Does that make sense? And I have never, ever, ever been happier, both internally and externally. Alhamdulillah.